Bill.
Good evening, and this is the Free Speech Show from the living room. I'm Bill Bronner, and we have a great panel tonight. I'm not going to go real big on the introductions, but I'll tell you right now who we have. We have Terry Joyce. She was on Last Comic Standing, and she's funny in many people's opinions. Yeah. We have the real Steve Smith, and Google him, the real Steve Smith, and you'll see his political blog, and yeah, no spaces. And right here, Jason Stewart, jasonstewart.com, and Jackie Cation, JackieCation.com, both headlining comedians on the road and infrequent guests of the Free Speech Show, and we're thrilled to have you there.
And actor.
Actor.
Actor! Actor!
Actress.
I know an actress.
Actor also. No,
Well, with Meisner course.
Exactly.
I always piss my
ready.
wife off. Yeah, ministers and ministresses. You know.
Excellent.
But here's what happens on the Free Speech Show. Tonight's topic is I'm a gambler. Stories of chances taken and opportunities lost. And we're all going to get a chance to talk about that for about up to 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and talk about it as a group. I knew I was a gambler when I was it was third grade, so I guess 8 and 9 years old. There was an article in Life magazine about Dr. Edward Thorpe, who had figured out that you could keep track of the cards at blackjack. And by knowing what remained in the deck, you could vary your bets so that when the deck favored you, you would have the most money on the table, and when the deck favored the casino, you would have the least money on the table. And that was in the back of my mind all the way until my first time to be 21, driving through Reno. And I walked in there, and everything clicked, and I go,
Everything clicked.
all right, I'm a gambler. So I went back to Tennessee after my vacation, and every night I was set. I would watch the Johnny Carson show, and I would count cards. I would deal cards myself, and I would bet with pennies, and I would beat the house night after night, and then I would beat the house through Tom Snyder. And,
Tom Snyder.
yeah, who unfortunately passed away in the last 2 weeks. But, so then, my next vacation, bingo, I'm back in Reno, Tahoe. And I won a couple $100, and it was good, and my parents, I was living in Tennessee with my wife, and my parents were living near Sacramento in a little town called Lodi. And we would go to Lodi, see my parents, drop our little girl off in Lodi, head up to Tahoe, me and the little lady. And so I would normally pay for our vacations almost every year. And then finally I decided, you know what, I really don't want to be married anymore. And a guy I was a waiter with, he and I took off for Vegas. And I left the little wife, who unfortunately 2 weeks earlier had explained to me that she was pregnant.
Oh.
And so, yeah, see what an asshole I am. Last week was the first story of me being an asshole, and here is the follow-up. I'm an asshole story.
Is this your present?
So,
Is this your present one?
no. This is January's
It's like, wow,
mother.
she's a trooper.
I'm sorry.
This is 70 years ago today.
I'm sorry. I'm so self-involved. I just zoned out.
So anyhow, we were out there and we gambled, and it was, first of all, Ronnie and I, we drove his little Triumph Spitfire cross country to Vegas. We get into Vegas, we check into a place we pay for a week up front, and we head to a casino. And in our first 2 hours there, we're up $600. Well, Ronnie's just along for the ride, and he thinks, Bill's right. He's going to be able to beat these fuckers. So he said, let's go buy us a new suit. Let's go see...
Oh, this is going to end poorly.
let's go see Red Fox tonight. We made reservations to go see Red Fox.
Oh my God, Red Fox.
Yeah. He was playing down at the end of the
This was a
strip.
long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I myself would have just used
so
somebody
we head
who's
to
newer.
downtown Vegas, and we've got the winnings there, and we happen to, hey, let's just park here in the underground parking at this casino. You know what, while we're here, let's just go win a few hundreds. You know, so we go to the tables, and within about 15 minutes, I've lost $200 at that table. So we're still ahead. But we don't have more money than we left Tennessee with, you know. So then we go to another casino across the street, and we lose like another 200. And
All right.
now we're shell-shocked. so we go back, and we end up eating the $2.99 prime rib at the Topless Casino and console ourselves with the dollar beers and the 49-cent shrimp cocktails. So we last on this road trip like 3 months, and I've won enough money to spend about $1,200 repairing the Triumph. So,
Okay.
and I felt a lot of guilt and loneliness about leaving a pregnant wife in Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
Gee.
So I take my winnings and we go back to Tennessee, and my wife and I reconcile, and I talk her into going back to Tahoe with me. So my wife, with the same naivety as Ron, goes back, and I'm gambling, supporting a pregnant wife at Tahoe. And I'm doing all right. I'm winning like $600 a week, or over. It's like $400 a week. And then our Honda breaks down. We lose a timing belt. And we're in the middle of nowhere, or because there was like it was the second year Hondas were in the States or whatever. So.
What was the 30s? So.
So to make a long story short, finally, here we go. Well, we're going to need $300 to get back to Tennessee, right? So we have $300 set aside, and we've repaired the car, and I've got like $200. I'm going out on a Friday night in Reno, and I go out, and I'm down to $17. And you go, well, should I keep up? I've still got $17. So my wife and I go to John at Swaga's Nugget. She's sitting next to me, and I'm playing. And within 2 hours, I'm back to $400. Wow. And then I make it through the weekend, and at the end of the weekend, I'm still at like $400. And I go, you know what? I don't want to do this to you anymore. Let's go back to Tennessee.
Get out the headlock.
So I'm a gambler. Right. I got other stories of gambling.
Right.
And you know what? Being a comic is being a gambler. I graduated from law school, and while all my classmates from law school are going, I'm going to work for a corporate law firm. I'm going to be an intern to a judge. I'm going to practice with my dad. I was the guy who, well, I'm going to go count cards in Reno, put together a bankroll, and then do stand-up comedy in San Francisco.
Perfect.
So I moved to Reno right after I graduated from law school. Lived there for 6 months, gambled 40 hours a week. And at the end of the summer, and I waited tables to pay my nut, and my child support. And at the end of the summer, I was within $300 of even, like up, which is horrible, horrible wages. And that's when I realized, you know what? I'd be better to be the change person in that fucking casino.
Yeah.
Well, try sports.
So, yeah, exactly. Anyhow, so I'm a gambler, and I've got more stories about gambling, but thanks for taking a chance with us here at the Free Speech Show.
All right.
We have a new person. I'm excited to have her. She's Terry Joyce.
Very good.
I think that everyone's a gambler. I think that we really don't have any. We are because of the way our life is. I think most of the time as you live, I think that it's almost like you're a rat in a cage. You go to work, you do this, you do the rat cage, you go back. We stop, we get a little pellet, we get some water. We go back to the rat cage again. We go on. And then we think that the rat cage. Well, I'm going to have a secure house. I'm going to have I'll be able to retire, and I'll have Social Security, and I'll be like safe. And then all of a sudden we realize, wow, this is really fucked. There is no Social Security. There is nothing. And this is like really freaking boring. I need to entertain myself. So I think we think outside, we go, all right, let me get off the rat wheel, and I'm going to try something different now. It could either be like some people go to the casino and think, all right, I'm gonna like, obviously for my own life, I'm not gonna ever get the big house or whatever because it's not gonna pay off. But if I go to a casino, you know, pull a slot machine or play some cards, you know, I might just get lucky. I might get my lottery ticket. I know when I hit the lottery, I'm gonna take you all out together. You know, I think that way. When I get the lottery, you have to worry about your bills. Your bills will be paid, and you know, then I'll give some to the homeless, and everything will all be happy. You know, and then there are those people that decide to do it in their life. We go, okay, I'm gonna gamble on getting married, or I'm gonna gamble on love, or I'm gonna gamble on a career as an entertainer, which has like been my gamble, you know. But the first time I ever, because I thought maybe I should want to do gambling, like I thought, wow, you know, I never went to Vegas actually. You know, the only time I went to Vegas was like to get married, which that was terrible, and I'm not gonna do that again. And then also like to work at a comedy club. And the first time I went to one, I was like 28. And, you know, just a few months ago. You know, and I went in and I thought, wow, okay, I'm going to really gamble. You know, I've got $20. You know, that's all I have. Because I took the bus there. And I get in and I was horrified. I was horrified at what I saw. Because it just seems like there's just people there and their skin's like yellow and they got a cigarette coming out of their mouth and they're just sitting there like going like this, and there's so much air in there, like too much air, like you have to smoke a cigarette just to get some carbon monoxide so you can think clearly again. And you know, and then I thought, okay, I'm gonna put a few, you know, coins in here, and I hit the slot, and I'm like, you know, half an hour, well less than that, you know, like I lost $10 and I only had 20 left, and then you start thinking, well, I have $5 to go eat something, or I have $5 to get cigarettes, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll get the cigarettes. And so, you know, I really thought, well, this really isn't for me. But like, you know what I mean? So I'm going to move on. But you know, I mean, you know, it's like, you know, I don't believe that I'm going to hit the, you know, the lottery. I don't, and even if I did, what have I done for it? You know, so I thought, well, all right, I'm going to gamble on doing a show about medical marijuana, which is like. Or just any show. I mean, like, you know, anything that you want to do in life, anything that you're taking a risk. You're like, okay, I'm going to throw out the house out the window, and I'm going to throw the car out the window, and, you know, I might eat tuna for a while to be an actor, or whatever it is that my dream is. Like, oh, I have a dream. You know, there's going to be something else that, you know, that could come my way. But even in life, you have to approach it like a game. Like, you're still playing the game. You know, like, sometimes I play Monopoly, and, you know, I, like, went to jail and didn't collect $200. You know, other times, you know, it's like, you know, like, say for instance, you're going in for a job, it's like a poker game. You know, you got your cards, you know how many cards you have, you got the cards that you have at the table, but you got to have a poker face, because you don't want them to let you know that maybe your card isn't as good as their card. But a lot of times we bought the bullshit, and, you know, we got the card game. So, I don't know, I think that, where am I going now? Well, you know,
You're a gambler.
I'm a gambler. I'm a gambler. Like, you know,
gamble
it's like, you know, I mean, like, sometimes you go all the way down just because you keep believing that what you're doing will eventually pay off in some way. So, to me, that makes life more interesting.
Thank you, Terry Joy. So many opportunities lost, man. Just lost them all. I think you remember your first one the most. I could have been Gary Coleman, but I kept growing. Opportunity lost, you know. I even had my own little catchphrase, my tagline, you know. What the fuck?
Yes.
So I learned early on, life isn't fair, you know. I didn't grow up broke. We had a computer in the house. We had those AOL discs that you used to get, you know. We were online. I could have done that computer thing and maybe stolen the election back by now, you know? Made a lot of money, you know, working the opposite side of the coin. But I didn't follow through, so what are you going to do? Even as an adult, I could have been Bill Bronner, you know? But I hooked up with a guy and he had 1/900 dentist. Like, fuck, you know, he sold me on it. He's like, you know, if people don't want to pay for dentistry, then they don't really want dentistry. And I was like, okay. Never even got a podcast up. You know, I'm still looking for the guy today. So another opportunity lost. To come to California, You know, maybe I can be a great musician like Jimi Hendrix, or, you know, write beautiful melodies like Paul McCartney. I'm fucking right-handed. You know, there's nobody creative who's right-handed. Another opportunity lost. So what do? You gamble. That's what you do. That's the irony of gambling is, why do we gamble? And it's because we're broke. You know? And you buy in and you're paying for hope. That's what you're paying for. Everybody just wants a little hope on the table. We all know the math. If you save $1 a day for 25 years, you know, everybody knows the number. Say it with me, $38,193. We all know that. You know, that's a fact, right? But who the hell wants to lose? Oh, you didn't know that?
Oh my God.
Yeah, say it with me. Right. 38,193.
I'm still on what the fuck. How did that work on a sitcom in the 70s?
So, what are you going to do? You know, you go in, you put your money down, and whether or not you hit it big, you're still going to keep on trying, you're still going to keep on going. That guy who caught the Barry Bonds home run record, he's from New York, he's from Queens, he's on his way to Australia. He goes to San Francisco, buys a ticket, and then he catches the home run record ball that Barry Bonds hit. And a lot of people, you know, hate Barry Bonds, but not too many people hate his balls. So now you have 40,000 Giants fans walking around saying, oh, I should have wore a Mets jersey to the Giants game. Then maybe I would have caught the ball. Because it's those little things that get it going. And in the spirit of that guy and that kid, I've decided to handicap tonight's panel discussion. And I think that we put a number of 20 for the total number of laughs that will occur during the panel discussion. And you can bet over or under 20. If you're a little more daring, I think that there's going to be 7. You can bet higher, you can bet lower. But 7 outright guffaws during the panel discussion.
This is math and sports.
And math and sports and science and physics. And at the end of the day, the lucky people are going to be the ones who walk around feeling that they're lucky. And the unlucky people are going to be the ones walking around saying, woe is me. So let's have fun while we're here. I'm the real Steve Smith. I'll see you in the big money round. 15 pounds heavier.
Do I go look 15 pounds heavier? We're no longer speaking. Well, I have to say, I've always been a gambler, but I didn't know it. I grew up watching That Girl. And that girl, Marlo Thomas, was an actress, and she lived in New York, and she had a really great apartment and a boyfriend she didn't have sex with. And I thought that was really neat, except the part of not having sex with a boyfriend, because I really like to do it. And I thought, that's what I want to be. I want to have a great apartment. I want to be an actor. I want to go out. I want to be a comedian and do stuff, you know. And I would walk around to the studios, you know, with my picture, and had no idea that I was a chubby gay boy. And everybody would go, oh, we're not buying that for another 10 years. Come back. You know, and so I've gambled so much as a gay guy trying to make my career in a business where nobody wants me. That was sort of sad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We want you, Jason.
Oh, I know, but I've had a number of black men, and you know, that's another situation.
Whole other show, whole other click.
That's my drink, but I can't go because it's too far and I'll be off the camera. Could I have a little Diet Coke? That's not Diet, it's Diet Pepsi, but I'm not doing a commercial. Because I guess because Joan Crawford did this, and being gay, I have to sort of like the Pepsi better because Pepsi-Cola hit the spot. 5 ounces, that's a lot. Anyway, I've gambled my whole life. I think my whole life on dating more than anything, because I just wanted to be in love. I wanted to find the perfect guy. And I was 5 years I was involved with this wonderful black man. And when he got out of prison, things really worked.
All right.
He was bisexual, of course. You know the old joke, of course. There's a girl, bye. And that didn't work out. And then exactly.
Right, okay.
And then I started to date younger guys, which was really wrong. And because I got older, I thought, well, I'll date younger guys. I can control them. I can get them to do what I want them to do. You know, and I dated this little Hispanic boy, and he didn't call me Daddy or anything like that. He'd call me Poppy. And he had, you know, one of those chains that went from the belt loop to the wall to the couch, so I wouldn't let him leave the house. I mean, what do you say to someone that's 21? What's your locker combination? I said, do me, go to your room. You know, and then he was pierced everywhere. I mean, everywhere. We're talking, you know, I chipped a tooth. And he wanted me to pierce my nipple. I said, oh, I'm tired, I'm old, I'll get a clip-on. It's too hard. And it's always been a gamble. It's always been a gamble. Just to be gay in 2007 is a gamble. You know, just on your rights, you know, and trying to do things. I mean, you know, the idea of us trying to fight for gay marriage. I mean, it is the year 2007, but, you know, if they let us marry each other, we'll stop marrying you. And I think that the hardest thing now is especially, even for straight girls, there are two straight girls. You're married and you're not, right?
No, I'm not married.
No. Isn't it hard? I mean, you got married 9 years ago with a guy that you lived with.
No, I got married 9 months ago.
Oh, 9 months ago.
Right.
Well, then obviously it was very hard because you're not
Old.
Old, yes.
Yeah.
It is hard. It is hard. It's hard to get these guys to commit, isn't it? And then you go to clubs and you go try to meet guys and you go places. And the hardest thing about dating, I think, is you got to be careful when you go to the clubs because they have those date rape drugs. You know, myself, I just cut to the chase. I take it before I leave the house. Thank you very much.
My good friend, JackieCation.com is here.
Thank you very much. Okay, so, gambling. I don't know. My father has a gambling problem. That's what I know about gambling. My father, I came home from college one Christmas Eve, and my father, it was Christmas Eve, remember? And I said, hey Dad, you want to go get some coffee? And he said, I'm going to the track. You want to go? And I said, is it open on Christmas Eve? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, will that be our father-daughter moment? Me going with you to the track? And he said, I am going to the track. Do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. And I thought the track. I thought that there would be horses. I'm a girl.
Yeah.
I like horses. And so we went to an off-track betting facility in Waukegan, Illinois. Because my dad knows how to party. And it was easily full of the skeeviest human beings that I've ever seen in my life. See, I know that I would love to gamble. I don't go to casinos except to when I'm booked in them. And I don't mean to brag, but I do a lot of Indian casinos. Huh? My career is on fire. And let me just say that I did an Indian casino in northern Wisconsin. And when I checked into the hotel, in the packet, there was a coupon that said, if you go up to the cage and show them a $10 bill that you're planning on spending $10 on slots, with this coupon, we will give you an extra $5. And I was like, what? And so I go into the cage, and I'm like, I have a 20, and this coupon gives me another 5, and she said, yeah. And so she takes the coupon and gives me a $5 bill, and I'm standing there with the money, and I was like, now why wouldn't I just leave? And I swear to God, in the deadest voice ever, she just looks at me and goes, no one ever leaves. I was like, and she was correct. I did indeed spend that money at the casino. I had no idea on what. And then the other Indian casino that I've done was in Palm Springs, and as I pulled in, right in front of me, there was 2 guys in a pickup truck with a refrigerator on the back of their pickup truck. Now, 2 different things could have happened to bring 2 guys and a refrigerator in the back of their pickup truck to an Indian casino, 5 o'clock on a Friday. One, they have just purchased a refrigerator and decided that they would stop off on the way home to install their refrigerator for a couple of hands of blackjack. Or, my favorite idea, this was their lucky refrigerator. And they were like, we're going to defrost and then we're doing it. And now people have discussed how I'll stand up and acting and the entertainment industry, obviously a huge gamble. It's very funny because everyone in my family everybody's a money person in my family. My father's a salesman. My oldest brother sells the Jesus, and then it just gets, so my brother sells, the next oldest sells printing, but two members of my family are financial advisors, and one is an econ professor. And my brother Scott is the financial advisor. He's your go-to guy if you want to invest on like an oil well on Indian land. Yeah, he's got the morals of a jackal. And I like him, but we're related. And then there's my sister who does socially responsible. Anyway, but my brother Scott is out of his mind. He would not stop. Like 2 weeks ago, I saw him and he was like, don't you have a 401k? Why don't you have an IRA? Why aren't you prepared for your retirement? And I'm like, I'm a comic. I'm going to die, right? And I have $355 in a savings account in case something very minor happens. Like I break my glasses. Or I want to take everyone out to lunch. And, yeah. I think that's it for me about gambling. There you go.
Education!
Okay.
Education!
How do you sell Jesus?
Honey, if you're an evangelist with your own church, 'cause that's
Oh,
where the
right,
real
it
money
costs
is.
to be a Christian. I forgot.
We're going to take a break, reset the cameras, and move the furniture a little bit and come back with our panel discussion. If you're watching this at home, click right on over to the picture right next to this picture.
20 laughs or more coming up. in the
All
panel
right,
discussion.
we'll be right back.
All right.
Good show, guys.
All right.